Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. This is the FarmsimDude and you're watching my next episode about precision farming. More precisely, we are going to talk about nitrogen and fertilizing. So let's get into it. So have a look on the map, folks. Let's see what has changed here. You see the normal menu is still the same, but here at the crop types on the top of the menu, at the map section, we've got precision farming right now. So have a look at precision farming now, and more precisely, we're going to have a look at the nitrogen section. We're actually going to have only a look at the nitrogen section today. Have a sneak and peek on field 37. As you can see the color, it's a bit of a yellowish, which means about 100 kilogram per hectare. What do I mean by that? Let me show you that, folks. So let's walk and talk. So field 37, once again, guys, have a look at the color scheme here. It's mostly yellow, so that I can show you that it's somewhere around 100 and 120. But as you can see on the top range is somewhere around 140-ish on the top left and right corner of the fields. They are a bit greenish, which means they are way better than the rest of the field. So we are just walking towards those little spots up there on the top of the screen, and you're gonna have to see. You see that right now, guys, on the right-hand corner. We are getting close, and the value, the pH value, is actually getting in a good stage. Now nitrogen level is getting up 125. It wasn't 125 before. So this is basically the best spot of the field here. It's nearly perfect. So let's have a look back again to the field 28. You can see that basically those spots that I've been trying to fertilize the field. I will show you later on what I mean by that. But the rest of them is still red, which means they are not fertilized at all. Absolutely nothing on them. And just by the way, to get to know this information about your field, you have to take a soil sample. And there are two options for that. One of them is here at the shop at the miscellaneous section, and this is our boy. This is what you have to attach at the back of your tractor. So let me just show you that quickly, guys. How do you do this? You're coming back to your field. Of course, you unfolding your equipment, and then by pressing B, you're taking samples from your field. Well, as you can see that you're taking samples from this specific green circle on your screen. So it's really advised that you take samples from different places all around from your field. So you might be wondering, how much work do you have to do here? Well, quite a lot, folks. So next step is to analyze your sample, that you have to send it. So have to send it is another, basically it's a button you have to press, which is Y at this case here. So by pressing Y, you will send your sample, and it's getting analyzed pretty much in about 2-3 seconds, and then you will be able to access data about your field. Okay. So let's go and take our second sample for today, and we will move on to the option B, because yes, there is an option B, folks. And by the way, I highly recommend actually the option B, guys. It might be a bit more costly, but that's an easier and quicker way to do that. So you see that we sent the sample, just click on OK, and now we are able to access our data regarding the field. So have a look at this first now, folks. See, this is obviously soil types. We're not really interested in soil types now, because we're talking about strictly about nitrogen and fertilizer at this video here. As you can see that it is not fertilized. It's absolutely not. It was red. Color is red. So let's go and have a look on the option B now, folks. So option B is basically you clicking on your field, as you can see, and purchase the soil information. It's a bit of an expensive way, nearly $9,000 or euros, whatever currency you're playing with. But as you can see now, you have this information for your whole entire field. You don't need to drive and dig around. Okay. So just have a look at it, have a little bit of a walk and talk here again. pH value, we not really care about this right now. It's pretty bad around here, of course, but some of the place has a better value, as you can see it here, good. But the nitrogen level is shite. Okay, it's only 20 kilogram per hectare, which we don't want. So let's pop into these tractors and figure it out what we can do with this now, folks. So there is an elephant in the room, folks, which is, I highly recommend you to put your crops in the ground first, okay? Seed it or plant it first. Because all of these new machineries that we got with the precision farming, they detect what type of crops do you have, planted or seeded. So that's how it figured it out, how much your field actually needs, how much nitrogen do they have to apply. If you won't do that, it wouldn't know. It would still apply some sort of amount of it, but it's just not far enough, which you have to get. So your question is probably now, would it worth it? Well, you can fertilize your field first before any crops in the ground, of course. Then your second run, whenever you do that, once you get your crops in the ground and your first stage, you reach your first stage, it will use less amount of fertilizer, of course. But would it worth it? I would personally say no, because you have to use your machinery on a second time, right? Okay, so let's have a look what we got here first. So have a look on the field, folks. Nitrogen, all we care about again, once again, nitrogen. It's absolutely shite, okay? It's a piece of shite. Let's put it that way. So what we got here, okay? This is our slurry option, okay? This is basically a simple slurry option. This tanker also got installed, this new sensor system, and also on the front, as an extra options, we've got this new sensor guy, which makes sure you not just unfold it, you have to basically start it, you have to operate it. Okay guys, so how are we going to use this first? The way how we're going to use this first is the automatic mode, so I'm not going to set up any amount manually, because as you can see that you can set up the nitrogen, you can bump it up to 100, 20, 100, whatever you want to do that. So let's see if it actually does any different between automatic and manual. And of course, you have to unfold the sensor on the top and start it, and also we're going to unfold our, well, it's already unfolded at the back, so let's just start it. Okay, so you can already see that, guys, that the amount of the nitrogen is changing, because it's trying to sense how much nitrogen it needs. Okay, so once again, this is slurry, folks, and as you can see it on the map, it is not doing well. It's just not doing well. We know that already, that it has to be some sort of greenish color that we apply into the field, and it's just not that. So what I'm trying to do here, guys, I'm trying to slow down. As you can see, I'm slowing down a few times, and it's getting to the green stage, which means that's how. So you have to set up your tractor speed as well while you're doing this. And I'm wondering if I will do this, if I will give this to my worker, would the worker know that what type of a speed it has to go? It's a very good question, folks. Very good questions. I don't know the answer. If you're wondering, I don't know. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a walkie-talkie, folks. So nitrogen level, it's pretty bad. And some place is okayish, but most likely some of them are bad. So guys, that's not really the number one option that we should get with slurry. So our next option is the manure spreader. Okay, so this is solid manure from our animals, and this is also new machinery. Of course, the machinery has an inbuilt sensor as well. You can buy all of this machinery with an inbuilt sensor as an extra fee, of course. So let's get into our trusty tractor here. Okay, let's have a look again. The same thing. We are starting with automatic system. Everything is automatic, so it has to sense how much do we need. And of course, I'm gonna try again, slowing down and speeding up the procedure. And as you can see, it's the same thing again. If you slow down, it's get a little bit of a better stage. A bit of a saving now, as you can see the game is lagging. It saved a bit up, but anyway. So it's still not getting into that stage, our green stage, where we would say like somewhere around 120 gram per hectare, or 120 kilogram. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, 120 is our number here, folks, and you can see it's still something around, or it's going to be somewhere around okay-ish or bad. I can see that already. Can you see that, folks? Okay, so we had enough of that. Let's try manually bump it up. Okay, I'm pressing the buttons K and N to up it up a little bit. Let's see what's going to change, and it does change. You see? So it looks like manually you end up in a better position, way better position, folks. Have a look at that. Now we're actually getting some green color. Is it that efficient as the auto? Not quite sure. Have a look at it. Yeah, we do have some actual green spot in here. But as you can see, it's not consistent all around the place. So I wouldn't say that this would be a more efficient way. But you can see that some of these spots are perfect. You still got some place where it's not that good, but you got some spot that is perfect. So still, it's a kind of iffy from my point of view. So let's have a look. Our almost last option here is our new John Deere sprayer. This has came with the mod, not a special mod. This came with actually the precision farming. So you can see that, guys. This is a liquid fertilizer. Okay, so this is basically a chemical, a proper chemical. Here we also have the sensor on the front, and our first option is gonna be automatic. So let's just try this out for now. And you can already tell this that look at the color of this thing. This is probably the perfect color that we want to get. You can see how it does the spraying. It's actually some sort of a vibrating effect on it. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, so let's set up this bad boy into a manual mode, and let's add manually the amount that we want to get. This somewhere around the 120 thingy, and see what it does now. And yeah, pretty much the same. That's pretty much the same, folks. Yeah, you can see that it's still vibrating. So I can already tell you guys that on this machinery, this specific one, even the automatic mode would work the same way as this. So what that means, the best thing to do here, folks, is not to set up to auto or manual, because it should be this way. Look at that, it's perfect. That's perfect all the way around. You can see the color for the whole thing. That's gonna be our number one option. this is the number one option. So let's try something else now. Let's use this sprayer across the field. So now I'm going to pass all of this section that has been fertilized with all of the other machineries, right? Well, I mean all of the others, the other two, okay, because they weren't just so good. But let me do a quick walk for you here, folks. So I'm walking on to the top of the field now, just to show you that this was the automatic option, okay, and it's still perfect. Okay, so let's rock and roll here. What I do have an option here, folks, again, it's an automatic mode. Obviously, the sensor is on. Actually, the sensor has a speed limiter on your vehicle, so you can't drive faster than that. And you see, it starts the spraying because this section here has not been worked at all. Okay, it hasn't been worked at all. So obviously, we will getting the same outcome as we had just now with this machinery. And let's just have a look what we're gonna have here. Does it do any spraying? Does it not? Because we're getting into this field here, what's already been fertilized, and yes, it's fixing it. As you can see now that we are getting into the darker green level, which I'm actually looking forward to see what is that gonna be. Is it still gonna be perfect? But what you can see from your tank, that is, it's using a very, very small amount of fertilizer here, very small amount. It's barely missing, okay? And okay, of course, still here, this one is a section where we haven't been fertilized. And you see, this is what I like. It stops itself because it can see that this is just grass. It's like a painted grass. We don't need to fertilize. And have a look at this. Perfect here. It's a bit more as a percentage, like it's 200 gram per hectare or 200 kilogram. Sorry guys, 200 kilogram doesn't matter. That thing we care about the number. It's perfect. It's perfect. So you can fix your field with this option. Okay, so you can fertilize basically the outcome of all of this. You can fertilize your field with whatever you want to fertilize it, whatever you have at disposal. Okay. And then you can go through with your liquid fertilizer options, I mean the chemical options, and that's pretty much it, folks. That's pretty much it. So there is one thing that is missing from these fertilizer options. That you got one thing that you can do. It's basically your seeder options, because some of the seeder has a fertilizer inbuilt. So what will the game do if you use that? Let me just show you that option first, and then we'll show you what would happen to your field if you start doing all of these machineries. So you do your fertilizing before you put your crops into your field. Let's just have a look on that. So this is a seeder, folks, and we are basically seeding wheat to the ground. And also we have got solid fertilizer inside this seeder here. Just have a look on that. Look at the color. This is the color that we want to get. Okay, this is also on automatic mode here, and it looks like that this can be also your number one option if you want to do this way. So let's just have a quick walkie-talkie. Then you can have a look at this, folks. Nitrogen level is perfect. So this is also a perfect way. Is it cheaper than use your manure? Probably not. Won't be a cheaper option, but it's also perfect. Okay, folks, so finally we got to this stage where I can actually show you the option where you don't have basically your crops in the ground, and without crops, using the same machineries, we're using the same manure system, the slurry system. As you can see, You can get this from the shop now. You can choose whatever system you wanna have, and as an option, not as a combination, as an option, you can set them up. Okay, with the manure sensor option. So all of them has this option as it was before. So you think about it. Oh, dude, you haven't had this option for your first part of your movie. This has been recorded before. So don't worry about it, guys. I have had sensors in all of this system. This is just a showdown now. Also for this new John Deere machinery, the same thing. You can buy that with the sensor, everything else. So let's get into that. Okay, so folks, I'm gonna speed up this footage here up to 4 times because we don't want to sit here and look the same thing over and over again. We just want to see what would be the outcome. So now, once again, to repeat myself, there's nothing planted here, nothing seeded. Have a look on it. The color, it's absolutely bad, absolutely bad. The same thing again with the slurry tank. Pretty much same color. It's still better. As you can see, the consistency is still better than the manure, but you see, it's still bad. Anything up to 80 gram per kilo per hectare, or kilogram per hectare. Sorry, folks. You see this option. So this would be the best option here because it's got both sensor. But have a look on it. Still shit. Still shit. And finally, I'm gonna drive across the field and nothing's gonna happen. Still the same bad. The only good part in here that you can see up there, that fella, is actually the seeder option with the fertilizer. That's the only thing that is good at this part of the video, which I have shown you already as a secondary perfect option to have your seeder with the fertilizer together. So folks, just let's wrap this up now because this video is getting too long and nobody wants to see a 22 minutes video about fertilizing only. Okay, so once again, guys, we were interested only in nitrogen level in this video. We don't care about pH or anything else. Perfect scoring, that would be another video. But end of the story here, the best option to do here, fellas, is plant your crops into the ground or seed it. If you go with the seeder option, you can have a seeder with a fertilizer as well, and that would be a very good option because you can get a perfect level of nitrogen in your field. The only problem is that I can sense is basically it would be a more expensive way just to use that. So you can still use your manure from your cows or your slurry, whatever animal you have, and then just fix it at the end with the sprayer, the chemical sprayer, because the sensor works perfectly with your sprayer and it will fix it up for you to get a perfect level of nitrogen in your field. So guys, if you like this video, please hit the like button or even consider to subscribe. I would really appreciate that. So now, guys, this is it. This has been the FarmsimDude, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.